My name is Teacher Brett, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about bringing back the crimper. Just kidding. All right, I have been a teacher at Gogokid for over a year now, and I absolutely love it. So today, I want to talk to you guys about how to apply to Gogokid. The process hasn't changed that much since they opened. However, there are a lot of tips and tricks getting through that process that I've learned after helping hundreds of people get hired here at Gogokid. So if you want to come work for Gogokid and hang out with Uni, then you'll want to pay attention to the 3-step process of the application here at Gogokid. Before we jump into the application, I want to quickly go over what the requirements are at Gogokid. Number 1, you need to be legally able to work in the USA or Canada. This does not mean that you have to live in USA or Canada. We have teachers who live all over the world, but you need to be able to prove that you're legally able to work in USA or Canada. So this is going to be some kind of passport, birth certificate, driver's license, something of that nature. Number 2, you need to have a bachelor's degree. This does not have to be in education. Your bachelor's degree can be in anything, but you have to have one in order to work at Gogokid. And number 3, you need to have experience working with children. If you're a teacher already, great, awesome, you've got that covered. But if you're not a teacher, that's still okay. As long as you have some kind of experience working with children, babysitting, coaching, swimming lessons, guitar lessons, whatever it may be, if you've worked with children, you're gonna be all set for that requirement. So if you meet these 3 requirements, you're gonna wanna apply at Gogokid. A TESOL or a TEFL course is not required, but it is highly recommended. If you do not have that yet, I will put a link down below where you can get one for under 20 bucks in a couple of hours. Really easy, really cheap to get, and it's also gonna help you out in that interview process, your application process, make you look a little bit better. So I highly suggest you get that before you apply. So let's take a look at step number 1, the basic application. You're gonna go head over to the Gogokid website or follow somebody's referral link and fill out the basic application form. This is a pretty simple form, but you're gonna wanna be putting your experience and background so that Gogokid knows that you meet all those qualifications that we talked about. There are a couple of quick tips I wanna give you about filling out the application. Number 1, once you fill out the application, the computer is going to automatically pass you or decline you. That's based on your answers. Couple of things that I see that people oftentimes the computer auto rejects them for is the H-1 visa questions. One of the questions is going to ask you if you need assistance getting an H-1 visa. If you are legally able to work in the USA or Canada, you do not need assistance getting an H-1 visa. You want to check no. The other thing you want to be aware of is the email that you use in that basic application is going to be the email that Gogokid will be using with you throughout your career here at Gogokid. So you want to make sure that it's not going to be a school email or a work email, because if you graduate from school or you leave your job, you're not going to have access to that email anymore, and it's going to create a problem. So you may want to create a special email for Gogokid or use a personal email or something that you're going to have access to forever and ever and ever, because you're going to want to work at Gogokid forever and ever and ever. So once you fill out that basic application, the computer is going to automatically pass you or reject you. If for some reason you get rejected and you feel like you meet all of the qualifications, contact me below or head on over to see Gogokid and ask them. Once the computer automatically passes you, you're going to be able to schedule your interview. This is step number 2. You're going to have an interview/demo lesson that you're going to do for Gogokid. Because of the high demand for these interview slots, you may notice that it says that there's no bookings available for an interview. Do not panic. The interview slots go very quickly, but you can get one. And I'm gonna give you a few tips on getting that interview slot. The first thing I want you to do is completely prepare for the demo lesson. You want to be ready to go. Underneath the interview slots, you're going to see all of the instructions on the demo, the sample lesson, everything you're going to need. So make sure you've thoroughly reviewed and prepared all that documentation that's given to you. The reason I say this is number 2. You can oftentimes grab a short notice or same day slot from somebody who is canceled if you can sit at your computer and refresh for 15-20 minutes at a time. So if you sit down and just keep refreshing, oftentimes you'll be able to grab a slot. But it's usually going to be within a few hours, so you want to make sure you've prepared ahead of time so that when those short notice slots pop up, you can quickly grab one. My last tip I want to give you about grabbing an interview slot is to check really early in the morning. The interview slots are only going to show 4 to 5 days in advance, so it's on a rolling basis. So every day that 4th or 5th slot opens up for the bookings that are open. So if you check really early in the morning before everyone else gets up, when those first bookings are getting uploaded for that 5th day, then you can oftentimes grab one for a farther out spot. So get up early, 2, 3 a.m., quickly check and grab a spot for that 4th or 5th rolling day that's happening. And a lot of times that will work for you as well. You may receive an email from Gogokid asking you to do a recorded demo. This is an option, but it is not available for everybody. It is invite only. So please do not contact Gogokid asking them for a recorded demo. If they are interested in one from you, they will let you know through email. Most people are going to be doing a live interview. That interview is going to be about 30 minutes long. After you've signed up for your interview slot, the classroom will open 30 minutes prior to your interview time. So you can head on in there early and take a look. I highly suggest you go in there the 30 minutes early so you can play around with the tools, get comfortable in the classroom so that you are ready to go. Your interviewer will then arrive at the designated time. You'll do some quick background, experience questions, talk a little bit about yourself, and then you'll jump into that demo lesson. You'll have 10 minutes for the demo lesson. The demo lesson is currently finger mountain. If that changes, you'll want to check out any of my latest videos, but right now it's finger mountain. That's available on your portal for you to practice. After you finish the demo lesson in 10 minutes, you are going to have an opportunity to get a little bit of feedback from the interviewer, and then they'll let you know about the next steps. Typically, you will need to wait around 5 days to hear back from the home office as to whether you passed the interview. However, this can vary depending on how backed up they are or time of year, so it may be much sooner or it could be a little bit later, but plan for around 5 days. If you need help preparing for the interview, you can check out some of my videos here and here in order to practice, prepare, and learn about what you need to be doing and what they're looking for in that interview. You pass the interview, awesome! You're gonna move on to step number 2, which is orientation. This is where you're gonna learn all about the classroom platform, the policies, the procedures, everything you need to know about Gogokid. So this is really, really important that you pay attention to, take notes, jot down whatever you need to do so that you're fully prepared to start working at Gogokid. It'll be a series of videos that you will watch, and then you'll take a quiz to show that you understand the material. I highly suggest you go through the quiz one section at a time, making sure you pass each section before you move on to the next section. This will make it a lot easier to figure out what you might have gotten wrong. After you pass the orientation, you will move on to step number 3, which is to upload your documentation. This is where you're gonna upload all of the things that GoGo needs to prove that you are who you say you are, and the things that the parents are gonna wanna see when they're looking through all those profiles trying to find a teacher. So you wanna be prepared to provide some sort of documentation that you're legally able to work in the USA or Canada. This is going to be a passport or a driver's license. One thing you want to be aware of is if your state has moved to the real IDs and you opted not to get a real ID, if your driver's license says not for federal ID purposes, Gogokid will not accept that. So you need to either go get a real ID or you need to upload a passport or a birth certificate instead. You'll also need to provide proof of your degree. This can be either the actual bachelor's diploma that you received, or it could be transcripts, ensuring that your transcripts do indicate on there that you received the degree. You'll also need to upload a few things for your parent profile. This is going to be a couple of pictures, a short little introduction video, and a written bio paragraph about your background and experience for parents to look through. I highly suggest you take some time on this. This is what's going to determine whether parents book you or move on to the next teacher. So take your time here. You can change any of that information at any time by sending a ticket to Gogokid later on and providing them with the new information, but it's much easier to just get it right from the start. Once you've uploaded all of your documents, you're gonna be able to sign your contract. You are now an official teacher at Gogokid. Welcome to the team. After you've signed your contract, you can start opening up those slots. Once you open that schedule, keep in mind one of your first classes is going to be booked by a trainer at Gogokid. You're not necessarily going to know it's a training class, and it might not be your first class, so just be prepared for any classes that get booked and treat them like a regular student class. If it is your training class, the trainer trainer will go over everything in a little bit more detail on the platform, and they'll have you teach a little bit of the lesson to make sure that you feel comfortable using all of the tools in the platform. I hope this video gave you a quick idea of what the current process looks like here at Gogokid to get hired. Before we go, I just have to say that Gogokid has been an awesome job for me. Flexible, allows me to stay home with my kids, lets me make my own schedule, and the money's not too bad either. If you're interested in Gogokid and you haven't yet found a referring teacher, I would be happy to help you through that process. Just use my code down below or my link, and so that we are connected. That way I'll be able to send you all of my resources, all of my step-by-step tricks to getting hired here at Gogokid. Thanks so much for joining me again today, guys. I will catch you on the next one. Make sure you go out and get yourself a hair crimper. Hair crimpers forever. And have a great day. Bye. Are you done drinking, Steffi?